so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to choose.
Well, hello, this is Linda Carbonell, and welcome to another edition of Walking Through Life. I want to say that I've been gone for a couple of years, but I'm back. And I'd like to introduce you to my guest today. He is running for Windsor County Sheriff, and his name is, wait a minute, Thomas, what's your last name?
Batista.
Batista, that's a hard one to say, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What is that? Is that Italian or what is that?
It's Italian, yes.
It is. Well, I want to make sure that the audience can get to know a little bit more about you. I know you said you lived in Springfield, grew up in Springfield, Vermont.
Yes.
Yeah. And then in 1980, is that when you first graduated and decided to go to school and all that?
Actually, in 1980, my parents moved up from Connecticut to Vermont. So I started what we call junior high school, well, middle school here, and graduated high school.
Oh, you graduated?
Yep, from Springfield. Then I went away to college in Maine, Nassau College, and came back, graduated in 1991, came back to Vermont with my wife, got married. From 1991 to 2002, I worked in the private sector. In 2002, I started with the Windsor County Sheriff's Department. I was on patrol with them for about until 2011, when I came into the administrative office. In 2011 to date, I've been doing administrative functions for the Windsor County Sheriff's Department. So I know the operation inside and out from top to bottom.
So you I saw in there that you write grants for certain things and things like that too.
Yes, I do the grants. Basically, I do the, how we call them, Governor's Highway Safety. Now it's the Governor's Behavioral Safety Unit grants, which provides us with grants for DUI enforcement, impaired driving, distracted driving, occupant protection, as well as some equipment grants. There was a work zone safety enforcement grant, which got combined with the occupant protection grants. So what those grants basically do is provide funding for the deputies to go out and provide enforcement of those rules and regulations under Title 23 for the public. We get the officers get paid for that, and the department recovers some of the mileage for the cruisers under those grants. I've also done the Homeland Security grants, which provided us with in-car radios, portable radios. We've also gotten some cameras through them. We get the mobile data computers through them, which provides all the deputies with uptime real information from dispatch. Those are the Homeland Security. I've done some of the bulletproof vest grants, which provide the vest for the deputies for their safety. Those are primarily the grants that we're eligible and we go for right now. So that's basically what I do. I write them, administer them, and work them. So basically.
Yeah, and that's a lot. That's a whole lot of work. And I wanted to talk to, and one of the things that really encouraged me that you were talking about is getting the community more involved in some of this process, some of the stuff that you're thinking about doing. One of the things that hit me, I think, was the community mental health. What is your idea behind that?
Well, my idea behind that is to put what I would call like a CAT team, a critical action team, focusing on the mental health, to be out in the public. If we look at the number from 2021 and just in Windsor County alone, and this is adults only, not juveniles, we had 2,103 mental health issues. Those were adult mental health that were outpatients, those were community rehab, and they're unassigned cases. So there's 2,100 basically issues that we should be monitored in our communities. By having a team to go out.
Do you know how many of those are probably homeless now?
I didn't see any data on, I didn't see any data on that. But on the homeless one, let me get to that on the second. Well, you and I will talk on the second part. Let me just finish the first one for you. So my feeling is there's crisis workers. I know Hartford has an embedded crisis worker with them. What I see is we are always behind the 8 ball responding to a crisis. We need to be proactive, have these teams. I'd like to have a plainclothes deputy and a crisis worker in a plain unmarked vehicle. They'll have equipment that they need to go out and visit people, because we know we don't want to violate anybody's rights. It's just a visitation, saying hi, get to know us. You know, we'd like to take you out to breakfast. We'll go out to lunch and let's meet places. We're paying for it, of course. So there's funding available for that. It's not a problem. It's get this so we can start to have a positive relationship with them. And we're getting, of course, they're creating data and spreadsheets on this. So when there's a problem, we can hopefully intervene and help this person before a crisis occurs and something goes wrong and they hurt themselves or whatever. By doing that, we can get the data. We can see, do we need to do more of this? We can tweak the program as it goes, because we don't want people homeless. That doesn't solve any problems. It just creates another problem.
Exactly. And I know for myself and my husband too, both suffering with chronic mental illness. There's created of a big fear of police or anybody that's involved in the law at all. And I think the fear stems from way back when people were like forced into the hospitals and things like that.
Yeah.
So I think for me, myself, I would like to see that theory changed. And if I could use my husband as an example about how he got to know the police officers in town. So they knew him, he knew them. And I think what you're talking about is excellent, reaching out and open communication. And I would love to see something like that happen here in White River, like a get together or something where people can all meet up, you know.
I do.
If they're-
Agree with you. Again, we can do, as you and I would talk before, it's the public. We serve the public. I work for you. Talk to us, tell us what you need, and then we can try and, okay, now we have an issue, there's a problem, we need to address it. Let's come up with a program. Based on our program, we can come up with the funding. We need to have so much funding. Where can we get this? And let's not forget, we want to succeed, not fail. So our funding is serving these people. What are the needs of these people going to be, as we just said? So now we got to anticipate that in our whole solution. So we set ourselves up to succeed. I don't like to set up to fail. I like to set up to succeed. So let's go through the steps and make this happen. And once we start with that, I think once the program becomes successful, which we plan for, of course, this will branch out, do trainings with the public. I know a lot of our trainings are specifically for us, but do a meet and greet. Come on over, have some, I don't care, some coffee and donuts with us. We're gonna do a training on people with autism, how we should respond. Have the community involved. This isn't a law enforcement sensitive issue. Talk to us. Bring some people that have experience, have children that have had autism, because I know there's a fear, and we don't ever want to create the problem. We want to solve and de-escalate everything so we can resolve it. Again,
well, you know, and this is another thing I want to say too, is you're very approachable, as I have found with the Hartford Police Department here too, the fire department and all of that. Very approachable. But nowadays, with everything that goes on with the homeless people and the whole diversity thing and the Black Lives Matter and all of that, it's so hard for, where should we concentrate? How can we just bring everybody together to like you were saying, a community that comes together, that learns how they can make a difference in the world, what they can do as far as like volunteering to help some people and stuff like that. How can they get educated? So that's why I said I liked your idea. I do remember going up to the Hartford Police Station, my husband and I, and actually sharing the story when they were doing the training for the officers for dealing with people with mental health. And I think that is so important. And I also think it's important to bring it to the community if the community wants to hear it.
Well, again, when you see you can go to my Facebook and see all what my basically proposals are going to be, what I'm looking to do. But as you just said, it's the community. We need to come together as groups, discuss what's going on, work with one another, because again, I'll tell you, the community is the eyes and ears of any agency, because we don't have enough people. And the quicker we can get information from you to us to the field force accurately, is critical. Again, the whole purpose is to reduce our critical incidents that we have to respond to by having a proactive response with the community. And again, I think if I would like to have community service for deputies, be out in the community plain clothes. We'll pick the hours, so many hours a year, a month, a week, whatever. We can come up with that. But that's the critical point, getting involved. As you just said, go as a community, go to this homeless group. Why don't we can do a barbecue for everybody. You can do whatever. See what the issues are. Don't put blinders on and let's see what the issues are. What do we need to do? Because
How can
we
we
gotta do
help?
something.
Yeah,
If we
exactly.
don't,
Because
Yeah.
it doesn't help just sitting back and saying, the homeless people do this, or the homeless people do that, or the mentally ill do this, and
Mhm.
all of that. It's more of like, let's just sit and talk about this and find out, how can we help each other, like I know for
Absolutely.
me, volunteering has been the most important thing to help me through my mental illness. And how did I find that out? Well,
Mhm.
thankfully, I found it out through my local police station. And I
Mhm.
thought it was pretty
There you go.
good,
You
Uh,
do.
it was just like, it was wonderful that I was asked to do something. It was like really amazing. Yes,
Mhm.
we want your input on this. And sometimes that's all it takes is let's have a little bit of input and share it with us. And
Absolutely.
I loved your idea talking about the veterans, because I saw that too on Facebook, and doing more for the veterans and the homeless
Mhm.
veterans and
Mhm.
just veterans in general. Um, and I don't know if you know this about me, but I've done a few of the fundraisers for the Friends of Veterans here in White River Junction, which they also deal with homeless veterans and,
Mhm.
helping
Mhm.
them out.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I'm wondering if we can't do some sort of maybe a TV forum where we could get some of these people together to talk about it with you
Right.
and some of the other officers. I think it would be wonderful if that's
I think it'd
something
be
that
great.
you do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, you absolutely, from talking to you, I know you're very open and willing to
Yeah,
listen. And a
sure.
lot of people have a lot of questions. It would be awesome if you'd want to come back more and more and just maybe participate a little bit in this.
You call me anytime. You know me. I'll make myself available.
That's good.
Definitely will. But again, as you said, we need to work together. Once we come together, we can solve these problems. And I don't want to take this the wrong way, but don't put our heads in the sand. It's not going to go away. We have to take action to solve
Yep.
these and come up with a plan that's real. Don't come up with haphazard plans that they're going to fail from the start. I don't operate that way. Let's put a plan in place, make it happen, and then we can really help the community and reduce, because again, I'll say to you right up front, the last thing any police officer wants to do is use force. We don't want to do any of that. I'd rather sit down and have lunch with you, have breakfast with you, have a coffee, laugh, tell some jokes. Hey, how'd the socks do? That's what we
Yeah.
want to do, but right now are just numbers. And I think once the community is involved and we get that transparency and build that confidence back up, numbers and hiring will come. It's just that right now we're in that, there's some issues, we'll call it that, but we can overcome these, but we got to work together.
Right. And it's like the local businesses and
Mhm.
homeowners and a lot of them that also need reassurance from the sheriff's department that they're going to be able to be safe in their
Mhm.
business and their homes.
Mhm.
And that's also a big concern of people right here in Hartford. I think there's
Mhm.
been a lot of crime and a lot of invasions and things like that that people aren't too sure about.
Mhm.
And I
Sure.
think if they also had some reassurance that their needs would also be taken care of in a fashionable way, I think that would be appropriate too. And wouldn't
Sure.
it be nice if some of us could volunteer to actually help them? You know, I thought about
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
thought about going down and sweeping streets when I could walk.
Sure. Yeah.
Right
No,
now,
sure. But again, as you just said, everybody has special talents. If we get together, we can utilize that, come up with it, and that synergy is what's going to bring us through this. Because as you know, of course, my ultimate goal, if I had to say, I would love to have like the Windsor County Public Safety Bureau for the sheriff. So we'd have all these little towns dispatching. We'd have one central area, similar to state police, that the data comes into. We could have a program that when the dispatcher's on, every unit, fire truck, cruiser, ambulance, there's a GPS. We know where every unit is. Situation arises, we get some information on whatever it is that can immediately be put to the field force. You'll know exactly where everybody is. Towns like Hartford might not be part of it. However, they'd have an option to view that same thing. And if they needed help, they could say, we have a major incident. We need you guys to come up and do some traffic control. Here's where the 4 guys are, they're headed your way.
Right.
So we'll take care of that. You take care of the incident. We'll secure it. You do your thing. We all work together.
Yes, and that's so important.
It's possible. It just takes vision, funding, and time to do these things. So just
So I
remember,
take it that that's one of your great missions. Is this is something
that's
that's
my ultimate mission.
near and dear to your heart?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that's my ultimate mission. Is to
Right.
have us.
When is the election?
The primaries are August 9th, and the election's in November. The regular election will be whoever wins. I'm on the Democratic ticket. Myself, and I have an opponent. He's running too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So maybe even we might be able to get together and do some kind of a introduction to the community. Maybe.
Sure.
Even I think that would be great. And I'm sure that maybe CATV would be very helpful in doing something like that at the studios or something, or somewhere, doing something like that, getting to know you a little bit and getting to know what your things are. Because obviously people watch the show, so they will see it and they'll have questions. Is it okay if they look you up and ask you questions?
Of course, yeah. Well, if you go right to my Facebook page, you can Google me up. It has links to all of my webpage and everything. Friend us, ask questions. Well, we're going to be doing probably some meet and greets in your area. We're getting that set up to go. And again, we'd love to maybe even have you guys there with people. We definitely love to talk to people, what's going on, so we can come up with some plans and again, coordinate with your local police department, because again, sometimes we get so busy that we tend to lose things because they're just busy. But and ultimately we have to get back to the basics and listen to what's going on. But again, I think working towards that will get us there.
Well, I found a good response from the Hartford Police Department as far as being able to come around and talk to us and really get to know us. And that's something that I got to say that I'm not used to. It's wonderful. It's actually wonderful to be able to participate in training and get to know somebody, get to know the police officers and stuff. And they do go down to the Tucker Box once in a while and meet people,
Meet people?
Yeah. And they came by here one time. They had a big cooler full of ice cream. No kids around. So you're like, you guys want some ice cream? They're like, sure.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah, another meet and greet. I think we need more of that.
I agree with you. That's the biggest thing, is get to know us. Don't be afraid of us. We're people. Talk to us. Tell us what's going on. I talk to a lot of people, as you can tell. Tell us what's going on and we'll help you. If there's a problem, you get to us right away. If it's an emergency, call 911 and we'll respond. But again, the whole goal is to try to reduce the emergencies, to say, listen, the police are out there talking to us. They know that we can maybe make a lot of these issues go away. No, is that?
And I think that's what insurance that the businesses are looking for, the homeowners that are concerned about the homeless people being on their properties. And certainly I know that the homeless people don't want to be invasive whatsoever from the ones that I've talked to. It's somebody from coming from, homeless I was only homeless for a couple of weeks, but knowing that the loneliness within that, without having nobody to talk to, without, just feeling really alone. And a lot of your elderly are in the same sort of situation. They're stuck at home, nobody visits or nobody, checks on them. That's why it's nice that they do have the opportunity to have a welfare check. And a lot of people are afraid of those too, but they're very important, very, very important to make sure that people are safe.
It is very important. And to go to what you just said, not to again, the programs work because the whole purpose is to take proactive measures. If we obviously determine your safety needs to be, something else needs to be done, of course, we're going to take action. We're not going to leave you in a home that's not safe. You know, we're going to do something to make it right. Whether it be with the elderly advocates, et cetera, we're going to make something right. We got to come up with the programs. And again, by us coming together as a community, I think we can do these things, get mechanisms in place to fund programs. And again, my whole thing is, for my whole thing is make this a successful. At the end result is this person is going to need help with A, B, C, and D. So we got to have the resources available, because it doesn't do any good if we know there's a problem. Well, how are we going to fix it? Well, we know about it, but we got nowhere to put them. Well, that's not acceptable. What are we going to do?
Yeah, because I don't.
Yeah, and as you just said, the homeless, get out there, talk to them. They have issues too. I'm sure that we can resolve things. Again, we don't want, and again, you said, I think the people, once you see us out there talking to people and the communities involved and things are being done, that confidence comes into play. That yes, we're working as a community. There's some issues, but we're working on it, and everybody's there to help out. So then you'll probably have less calls. Again, every time you call for the Hartford police, they got to respond to that call. So now you've taken one or two officers are tied up with that call, where things are just stacking up.
Right. Right. That's why I think with this, when you have community forums and you have just a certain amount of police that can go, and you need to make sure that there's people out on the street. I think it's important that we do have some out there, and maybe some at an event of some kind or something. Yeah. So this is definitely something that I may be able to be helpful with, and I would love to participate in myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would.
You know how to find me.
Huh?
You know how to find me. I don't hide very well.
I know how to find you. I know now. Anyway, but I loved having you for a guest today, and I just want to make sure that you'd maybe be willing to come back and work on some of this with us.
Anytime.
Well, I appreciate you.
Touch me.
And I do appreciate this interview, and we can do another one anytime. And if anybody does have any questions for you, I want to make sure that they reach out to you. They can also reach out to me on the Walking Through Life page to see if they have any interest in getting to know a little bit more about what your plan is, what your campaign issues are, and the whole 9 yards. So I think that would be awesome. But before we go, I want to make sure that you do give detailed information about how people can contact you.
You can Google me on Facebook, Thomas Batista, and you type that in. You're going to come up with my accounts. If you want to call me at home, call me at night, because we're out doing work during the day. I work during the day. Call me at home. My home phone number is 802-885-9784. Myself or my wife will, of course, answer the phone, probably my wife, but she'll take some information, answer what she can for you, and or get it to me, and I will call you. But again, you can friend us on Facebook, respond any way you want, because I know now we're in the Zoom age and all the electronic age. Nobody likes to do things really in person anymore. So whatever you're comfortable with, feel free. I'm always very approachable.
Well, I want to invite you two down. I know it's kind of late notice, but they have the First Fridays down here in White River Junction. I don't know if you knew about that. That's where most of the community does come out. They have like a small festival downtown White River, where people come. They have musicians. They have people gather. Most of the community is there.
Okay.
And I think it would be something that you may enjoy, maybe your family.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Get to know people. But it's the First Friday, so it is coming up this week, and I think it starts at like 5, and it's just all through town. It's everywhere. So if you wanted to come, I have a little handicap buggy. I'll be down to my little handicap buggy.
Okay. It's this Friday, which is going to be the
3rd.
Third. I want to say I've got another event this Friday to go to. I'm tied up, but I will definitely. Is it the first Friday of every month?
Every month.
So I'm going to try for July, first
Yeah,
Friday
maybe
in
that's
July.
right. Maybe by then we can get closer to having a community forum too.
Yes,
I could
I would
talk to
love to do that.
that do that.
Um,
Yeah.
I'll also reach out to you when I'm going to do I want to do something up in Hartford, like a meet and greet for a couple hours, talk to people. I'm going to be setting
Yeah,
up
that
that
would be
this week. So I'll reach out to you and touch you with that one too,
yeah.
just so we can coordinate and maybe do some, I don't know, coffee, some donuts, come chat with me, and sit down, tell us what the issues are.
Yeah, that'd be
Might even,
awesome.
yeah, absolutely. Just again, I want to talk to people, come meet me, ask me all the questions. I don't know if we can do it via well, we'll do that first, then we'll get to the Zoom thing. I'm still on the technology issue. It's hard to coordinate these when you're mobile. It's easier when we're home to do whatever, but when you start getting mobile, with whole other issues come into play.
Yeah.
But yeah, absolutely, Lynn. Thank you again. Thank you for having me on this show, and I hope
Yes.
I've been kind of informative.
Oh, you've been very informative, very friendly, very nice, and you have a goal, which is something that is part of my purpose also. And I just want to really encourage you to get to know the people in Windsor, wherever
Yeah.
you can meet people, and let them know what you're doing, because I think it's
Absolutely.
all for yourself. I really do.
Thank you.
So I want to make sure maybe we can get back and check again, maybe in August or July or something, check in again, see how you're doing.
Yeah, I definitely will. I got your contact info too, so I'll be reaching out and touching you. You're going to start seeing on my pages we're getting going on our websites and things. Not necessarily, I'll say, related to candidacy, but information I want to put out on some different topics. And you're going to see
that would
just
be awesome.
random things, because it's not. We just want people to be aware of what's going on in the community and things. So you're going to see some of that coming out.
Yeah, that would be good. Now, would that be something that I could share on my Walk Into Life page?
I want to say, yeah, we should be able to link up to everything. I've got I've got a personal face. I got different things. I want you to also visit my personal Facebook, because you can see how what I do when I'm not working. It's because it's not all about work. I have kids too. So I'm out there like you in the community doing my thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a normal guy.
And I'm so glad that you're my first guest back, and I'm looking forward to doing many more shows, and I'm looking forward to doing many shows with you too.
Thank you very much, Linda. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for your time, and have a great day today.
You too.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank you. So this is Linda Carbonell. We're saying goodbye for Walk Into Life today, but we'll see you next week, and take care. Say goodbye.
Teaching me so many things, like how to love and how to lose and how to choose. Walking through this life, some days I get so tired, and I feel that I can't